Why are you listening?
Why are you different?
Why are you here?
Why are you connected?
Why are you tuned in?
Why are you inspired?
Why are you on CJRU?
Hi, you're tuned into CJRU 1280 and you're listening to Anjou Wells from YRU. Do you as the public find it humane for restaurants to restrict you from using the washroom even though you are a non-paying customer? Earlier this week, I went to a local restaurant owner and I posed the question, if someone came into your restaurant, would you allow them to use the washroom even though they were a non-paying customer? She thought it was the right thing to do to let someone use the restroom. She also thought that she had no right to hold a person's necessities in life. Later on in the week, I went to a fancy chain restaurant. I posed the same question to the manager, and he said that he only provides washroom to paying customers. And he went on to say that if he were to open up his restaurant to everyone to use the washroom, he would be out of business and that he would not have enough money to buy supplies for the washroom.
Hey, how's it going? I'm just trying to be honest. Yeah.
Another washroom-centered issue that doesn't cross the minds of the general public is accessibility. Many buildings and public spaces falsely say that they offer accessible washrooms. According to the Accessibility for Ontarians with Disabilities Act, also known as the AODA, an accessible washroom must include adequate turning space for an adult wheelchair, a larger doorway, grab bars, signage, and lowered counter heights. Accessible washrooms must also be situated on a barrier-free path of travel, and there must be powered door operators at the entrance of the washroom. An important requirement that is often overlooked is that there should be at least one universal toilet in all buildings. Universal washrooms require all the previously mentioned amenities, as well as space for an adult changing table. The goal of the AODA is to develop a fully accessible Ontario by 2025. Although the province is still far from the goal, in recent years, many apps have been created to help people with disabilities find accessible washrooms across the city.
You're looking pretty in a hotel bar and I can't stop. Oh,
Hi everyone, this is Christina from YRU, and I'm here today to speak a bit about bathrooms and the TTC. Now, I think everyone has experienced a time when they had to go to the bathroom really badly while using the TTC, and I think we can all agree that it is not a walk in the park. So there are 10 bathrooms in the entire subway line, which includes the yellow, the green, and the purple line. And you know what? It is understandably expensive to have bathrooms installed in every single subway station. It is invasive with all the wiring and construction and also having to pay for security and maintaining them. It's a lot of work. And some stations just might not be equipped to have washrooms in the stations. And besides, the TTC has renovated the washrooms that they already do have and are making efforts to keep it clean. However, the major problem is that 10 bathrooms in the entire subway line is not enough. We are paying customers who pay to use these facilities, and the people who suffer the most would be children, the elderly, and the disabled. For example, the yellow line is just way too long to wait until the next station that actually has a bathroom. There aren't enough bathrooms, and two, they're just not spread out as efficiently as possible. And unfortunately, I have heard that some people have released themselves in corners of stations just because they saw that they didn't have a choice. There were no bathrooms and they needed to go. Bathrooms were just not accessible. And it's quite unfortunate that they had to go in the corners of these stations. And also, some people just can't afford leaving the station to find a bathroom and then having to pay to go back in. That's a loss of time and also a loss of money. Reasonable access to bathrooms in the TTC should be made one of the priorities. Accessibility needs to be taken more seriously, especially when it comes to public transportations where the majority of citizens do use frequently.
Crashing, hit a wall. Right now, I need a miracle. Don't let me down.
Gender neutral washrooms. They're a hot topic right now, and I want to delve a little deeper into their meaning. So, gender neutral washrooms were originally designed so that people who didn't necessarily want to disclose what gender or sexuality they identified with could or were able to use the washroom in peace without having to disclose their gender or sexuality. Now, the backlash is the potential safety risk that it could pose on people who see it as men and women using the same washroom space together, and how one might overstep their boundaries and one could feel in danger for their own personal safety if that were the scenario. Now, the question that I'm going to ask you is, do you feel like gender-neutral washrooms are important in our society to give people that safe space where they can use the washroom in peace and don't have to disclose to anyone how they identify with? Do you think that is the moral that should trump here, or should the moral that should trump here be, I don't think it is safe when men and women are using the same washroom facilities together because of a potential safety hazard? And, I am going to say that gender-neutral washrooms can also be single-stalled, so that could potentially remove the safety risk. If it's simply a single-stall bathroom, then a man who identifies as a woman maybe feels uncomfortable, or others feel uncomfortable when a man identifying as a woman uses a woman's washroom. The other women or the transgender woman might feel uncomfortable, and we're eliminating that uncomfortableness by the setting up of gender-neutral washrooms that will allow for anyone, be it cisgendered, transgendered, whatever, to use the washroom in peace without fear of being questioned for how they choose to identify, and like I said, if it were a single stall washroom, there would be no concern of safety because it would simply be one person using the washroom at a time. So the question I have to the listeners is, what would you trump? Personal safety that might not even be an issue if we only use single person washrooms for our gender neutral washrooms, or would it be the freedom that we give to people that they may use the washroom in peace with not feeling like their sexuality has to be, or gender has to be disclosed? And to delve a little deeper, do you think there's still a stigma, and I would argue there is still a stigma, around people who use gender-neutral washrooms because it's not completely accepted in our society yet? I feel as though people might think that simply you using gender-neutral washrooms means that you identify with being transgender. If we got to a place in our society where two things could be the case. One, all washrooms would be gender neutral, and therefore basically that issue would be eliminated because there'd be no discussion of, oh, you must be transgendered as you are using the gender neutral washrooms, as gender neutral washrooms would be the only option. And the second thing that would be eliminated was, I think that's the main point I want to bring home, is that if all washrooms became gender neutral, there would be no stigma around, oh, you're using a gender neutral washroom, therefore you must be transgendered. And because there still is certain washrooms allocated for the division between men and women, and some that are gender neutral, there still is that stigma that can continue where, you're using a gender neutral washroom, but there's an option not to, so therefore you must be transgendered. So again, there's the misrepresentation that people might not want to have. People might be, no, I'm cisgendered, but again, they're being misrepresented because of the washroom that they happen to use, which could simply be out of mere convenience. That could be the sole reason why they use the washroom that they do. So those are my 2 cents on gender neutral washrooms. I'm not trying to offend anyone. I'm trying to be as democratic as possible on this issue. I want to see our society be more inclusive. I want to see our society be less stigmatic about these things. I want our society to move forward into a friendlier future. That is my goal here. Please, no one be offended. That is all.
I'm hurrying up, gotta get there quick. Going to the restroom. I'll be real fast 'cause I learned the trick. Wash, toss. I did it!
In my opinion, I think washrooms should be open for paying and non-paying customers. I think it's the right thing to do because it's humane and polite. I think especially since Canada is a free country of many things, it should be a law not to restrict people from using the washrooms from anyone.
I've been there all day, and I got you walking side to side. I'm talking to you, can't hear damn no, 'cause
The songs used on today's show were done by a local Canadian artist named Alexander Stewart. He's a 17-year-old kid that loves to sing, act, and entertain people. His big dream is to continue to be a bigger singer. He says that YouTube is the funniest thing he's ever done, and he plans to continue it as long as he can. If you would like to hear more of Alexander's songs, you could visit him at his YouTube channel called Alexander Stewart at AlexanderStewart.
just as long as you know you got me.